What is a weird phobia you have? People running on all fours out of the darkness. That's an obscure one, I get it though. Anything that made you afraid of that in particular? Resident Evil 2 for the PlayStation, when I was 7. The first time you encounter the liquor. Swimming in water where I can't see anything beneath. Edit. Thank you kind sir for the award. Same for me. It's why I won't swim in the ocean unless I'm near an island or reef where the water is nice and clear. Putting eye drops. They literally need to hold me tight to put them, and my eyes close every time. It's an awful experience for everyone involved. I hate having anything near my eye. I wouldn't call it a phobia, but definitely makes me extremely uncomfortable. Also my eyes are very sensitive to light. Anytime I visit the eye doctor he has to hold my eye open to add drops or look into with a light. It is also a struggle for them to get a good image of my eye. Next time you go, cover the other eye. Ask to borrow the eye occluder or just cover with your hand. It can help immensely. Those of us with thinner eyelids suffer from the little bit of light leaking through, producing an effect of whatever is near the other eye jumping toward it. We usually filter that out and don't consciously realize it. Just cover the other eye and you'll be far less nervous about it. Hiccups. When I get them, I'm awfully scared they will be the new 60 years hiccup world record. I figured out how to cure hiccups. Works for me every time. Hold your breath. Put the tip of your tongue against the roof of your mouth behind your top teeth and keep it there. When you swallow, your tongue kinda ripples at the back of your throat and your neck tenses. Keep swallowing. Do this with a drink if it's easier, but make sure it's a still drink and keep your tongue firmly planted to the roof of your mouth at all times. I usually do this for as long as I can hold my breath. Repeat a second time to be sure and that's it. Gone in less than a minute. Bananas. I don't know if it's a phobia per se, but the smell of them makes me gag and just seeing them viral makes me cringe. Cringe. I've gotten used to seeing them on the internet, but if I see someone eat one it makes me feel so uncomfortable and sick. I have a fear of being accused of a crime I didn't commit. I don't know how to defend myself when I'm innocent without appearing guilty. I feel that because I used to always get blamed for doing shit I didn't do as a kid. If you get the reference, it's like Franz Kafka's The Trial. Ever want that fear-realized? Read a synopsis of that laugh. Escalators and revolving doors. Always afraid I'll trip and get sucked into the never-ending rotation and get my skin peeled off layer by layer. That is a vivid one. I once fell up an escalator as a kid, so I can relate on that. Yup, that gives me nightmares. 2. I take an elevator or stairs whenever possible. Getting pregnant lol. Are you genuinely terrified of the thought of it, or is it just something you would much rather not have happen? Because I know there's a duck ton of horrors that are associated with pregnancy, so it get that. The doctors. Something being in your body. It having to come out one way or another. The possibility of dying through the entire pregnancy and birth. That whole deal is terrifying. Portraits of people, especially if the image is of a person looking into the camera/view of the painter. I'm scared to death of them, especially during the twilight hours. Is it the fact that no matter the angle you're looking at them at, their gaze will always match yours? That's definitely one reason. I think another is, and this is where it gets irrational, if I look away from the painting/picture and then look back and the person's facial expression has changed. I'm unable to look at the moon without vomiting. Okay, my fear is not weird by itself. I'm afraid of snakes. My level of fear is a bit weird, though. I can't go in rooms that have them, like at a zoo or museum. Or my 9th grade year, where I never set foot in biology class. I have to look away anytime a snake is on a screen, such as movies or TV shows. Photos of them, I have to look away. Even drawings are too much for me. I can't physically touch a page in a book or magazine that has a depiction of a snake. I have to use an object like a pencil or something to turn the page. I'm almost 50 years old, and it has been this way as long as I can remember. When I was in my 20s I was talking on the phone in the backyard and saw a garter snake and dropped the phone and ran inside. One of my relatives had to go out and get the phone for me because I refused to go back outside. I know it is an irrational fear, but I'm fine with that. Trypophobia. The fear to closely placed spots, circles or holes. Why do you think that is something to be afraid of? Or is it just one of those irrational fears you can't understand? Nice question. I don't really understand why. I just see it and don't like it. It's irrational. The dark. I don't know why, but I always assume there's something lurking in the dark. Before I go to bed I stare at my closet just to be sure. Same. Everyone thought it'd grow out of it, but I still haven't. It used to be because I was scared of monsters. But now it's switched over to being afraid there's a person lurking somewhere ready to murder me. Not much difference between a monster and a murderer. I'm sorry you have to experience this. Much positive vibes sent your way. Phobia. Could you elaborate in your own words? I want to know the source of scariness personally for people. If that's not too much. It basically means I'm afraid of big empty spaces, especially if it's a big empty dark room. I'd freak out if someone put me in front of a giant wind tunnel like the ones they use to test aircraft. Needles. I'm vaccinated, but I always have to look away because I get too scared if I see the point. So it's not the pain, just the concept of a point. I'm not ridiculing you or anything, I'm just curious. I don't like the concept of it going inside my arm / piercing it. I might have a very slight phobia of dogs. It's weird because I've never been bitten by a dog, but I get really nervous if the dog is super hyper. Even my dogs, which are the sweetest dogs in the world, make me nervous if they're hyper. It's only started in the last year, but it's so strange. I have this problem too. You're not alone. Being in the shower without any light. HMN. That is one of my favorite things to do. So relaxing. Not here. Running water is fine. Total darkness is fine. Just not combined. When in bed I cannot have any body part hanging over the edge of the bed. I'm afraid that something will pull me under and that I will be tortured. Same. Though not as high a level. The weird thing is that the space below my bed is 99% filled with large crates and stuff. The short but wide plastic ones with clip-on lids, full of clothes and paper and stuff. So not even my cat can fit down there. But it still happens. Stepping on cigarette butts in the parking lot. I'm always afraid that it will get stuck on my shoe and track into my car or even worse my house. So you imagine it would be still lit. Easy out for that is pinching the tip of the filter and twisting all the tobacco out. No, I'm just think cigarette butts are disgusting. And I don't know how mouth been rounded. Horses. Weird I know, but they are so powerful and so dumb that they can kill you just as easy as walking. By those standards, do elephants or giraffes scare you? Can't say I've ever encountered them outside of a zoo. It's just the way horses look at you. Beady eyes. Always plotting. Not a phobia, but I feel really uncomfortable and distressed when hearing buzz noises from insects. I think it originated from mosquitoes. Just close / flying by your ear, or in any way. When I can hear it, it could be from a mosquito next to my ear and it could be a wasp on National Geographic. It's mostly high-pitched buzz. I'm fine with big beetles. When I was younger I was afraid of little people. I know this sounds ableist, but I can't help what my fears were. When I was a kid, I used to have the same. Until my adulthood really. One time, I was about 20. I was in the bus, talking to my friends, when I turned around and there was this little man standing next to me. I so didn't expect it. I screamed and ran away. Still feel ashamed about it. But it just happened faster than I could think and act rationally. OMG, this makes me feel so much better. Because I had to consciously outgrow the fear because I knew it was ableist. But when I was younger I would actually have panic attacks, I was so scared. I have phobophobia. I'm literally terrified of being scared. The feeling of being scared is awful and I hate it, and it's a really weird phobia. Vomit. I can't. Spiders. I mean, really, they are completely harmless up here. Up here, they can crawl walls now and fall from the ceiling. It's how they show up in bathtubs they can't crawl out of. So, on the ceiling, while I sleep. I won't say that this is a phobia, but I get very nervous and feel really uncomfortable when I hear the sound of vibration, alarm, ringing phone. Am I the only one? No. Specific alarm sounds have such bad ASMR for me from being woken up by it so many times. Does it change if it's on a softer surface, or does it make that worse? I'm not a native speaker, so I didn't quite understand what you meant. But I wanna say that any vibration sounds on any surface make me uncomfortable, usually phone sounds. Fear of birds. Magpies are brutal, man. Birds don't get the credit they deserve. I've said it before. I don't like horses, lol, something about their whole thing. I've ranted about them for so long using all sorts of colorful words. But end of day I just don't know why. Someone else said that it was because they could kill them with ease, even by accident. Does that play a part for you? I think it's because they are smug. Like, if you need a horse to do a thing, and that horse doesn't want to do the thing, well, that thing isn't going to happen, lol. I have an irrational fear of things falling on me. I hate driving under bridges, because I think it will collapse. I hate being indoors with heavy winds outside thinking the roof is coming down, etc. I can feel that one. I was at a concert once, and my seat was under a suspended amplifier the size of 3 fridges, and I had nothing but anxiety the whole time. Driving. I'm fine on back roads without people, but highways and busy streets, absolutely not. I'm terrified of killing people due to my stupidity and I'd rather ride a motorcycle, but my folks won't let me. With a bike it's not. If you crash it's when. My cousin that owns 2 Harleys and hasn't crashed. But to the driving thing, I have the same fear, but maybe not as much. Duck highways though, that's just stress. Dogs. Awful experiences as a child and it kind of stuck with me. Oh man, that actually sucks. Yup. Doesn't really matter what size it is. I still get scared regardless. Although they're really cute from afar. Megalophobia. It's the fear of really large things or objects. As an example, when I was pretty young I was at a museum with my mom and brother, and there was a room with totem poles. I couldn't go in the room, or look at them. There was something about it that terrified me. Also, I'm pretty okay if I'm in a city and there are buildings and even skyscrapers. I don't mind them. But as far as big statues and stuff, and they mostly have to be indoors. If they're outside I should be okay, they just give me the creeps. Man-made things in the ocean. Those pictures freak me out. I'm dead scared of becoming a racist, even if that's very unlikely to happen. I'm being serious when I ask, not making fun or anything, but how exactly do you think that would ever happen? Are you afraid someone of a different ethnicity will impact your life for the worst to the point where you vilify anyone of the same heritage? I have absolutely no idea. I never asked myself the question. Sorry for not providing an answer. I don't like looking up at the sky because I fear gravity will stop working and I will fly away. That would be a nightmare. Just look up are a good day for then just fall up. As a smaller child I had a massive fear of objects that were small in size but very dense. I remember when I was around 4, I woke up my dad because I was so scared of a small spherical shape that for some reason was not affected by gravity that I couldn't move. Anyways, that's my strange fear. Submechanophobia creeps me out. This fear is incredibly specific, and yet a surprising amount of people have it. Actually, for anyone wondering, submechanophobia is the fear of massive man-made structures and stuff underwater, usually stuff wrecks and the like. Horse jockeys. They freak me out big time. Yes, partly, which makes me feel like a real hypocritical bitch, because I'm also very short, but I'm a girl. But it's their thinness and shortness combined. The other part is that an episode of The Simpsons scared the shit out of me as a child. At any moment a meteorite could fall to Earth and kill me dead where I sit. There would be no warning and nothing I could do about it. That might be a common one. I have the same fear, but not to the same degree maybe. Just use that to live your life to the fullest every second. I constantly fear that any set of stairs will collapse under my weight. Even though the stairs are very sturdy and I'm a skeleton given skin. It makes me think of what lies beneath the staircase. That scares me. I'm afraid of porcelain dolls. I know that they can't move or anything, but those lifeless eyes, they scare me. Same though I would say it's dolls in general. I once had a friend chase me with a doll, and I felt like crying even though I normally don't cry. But porcelain dolls are really scary, and I'm lucky I don't know anyone who owns a porcelain doll. Lucky. I can't visit my parents' house without my baby sister showing me her collection of them. It's honestly the scariest thing I can think of. Being trapped in a room without sound and the room is full of those lifeless eyes. Not quite a phobia, but I just cannot stand the sight of blood or organs. It's so bad that back when I was taking biology, when we talked about the organs of the human body, I couldn't take notes BC of how bad my hands were shaking. Oh man. Do you know why that scares you? I mean, obviously nobody wants to see organs outside a body, but was there something that made you feel this way? No clue. I just really cannot handle it. I once fainted at the sight of my finger bleeding after I accidentally sliced it with a knife. Laugh. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more videos.